I'd like to call it Monday, December 11th, 2023, Greensville County School Board meeting to order. Can we get a roll call?
Chairman Jason Rook,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Janet Roberts,
Here.
Mr. Ronell Pearson,
Here.
Mr. Rustin Jesse.
Here.
A quorum has been established.
Thank you, Ms. Roberts. Y'all bow your heads for the invocation. Father, we come to you tonight and ask you to bless the school system, Lord. Bless our staff, students, parents, and our community. We ask that you give us the wisdom and knowledge to make the best decisions for our schools. In this we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Seeking approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None being heard, the motion carries. Seeking approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. So moved. I'll second it. Motion's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None being heard, the motion carries. Seeking approval of the warrants and financial information.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, make it known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None been heard, the motion carries. It brings us up to our public comments. Clerk, do you have any comments?
No, sir, I do not.
Does anybody from the floor wish to address the board? All right, moving right along. Superintendent's report and information items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Like to say good evening, and as we know that this is our last meeting before the going into Christmas holidays, want to start off while everybody's here, say happy holidays, and we're wishing everybody a great holiday as we approach the holiday season. I want to start off our report with some good partnership that we have with Boar's Head, and at this time, I'd just like to invite the Boar's Head representatives up as they have a presentation for us. And it's so exciting that we have these partnerships.
Mike Nealon with plant manager with Boar's Head Division. Melissa Bolton. Like to present the Greensville County Public Schools a donation of $10,000.
Absolutely. We thank y'all so much. All right. So accept this on behalf of the Board of Education.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. She'll give you the wheelchair.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet you. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you all. And we'll hold that.
That's a good memory. That. Put that right there. That's
Oh, yeah. We'd like to extend our thanks to Boar's Head for the donation to the school system. It will be greatly used.
And those fundings will be used to help support our initiatives with Edgenuity and credit recovery. And we certainly appreciate the partnership that we've established with Boar's Head as they help support our students in the community. This time, I would like to move forward with my corrective action plan update. As always, during our board meetings, we bring the community and the school system up to date on our corrective action plan. We are still under an MOU with the Virginia Department of Education, and we are looking at, and we want to salute our teachers for, again, as we come to the close of this 2023 school year, for work well done since we came back to school here in September. As we do walkthroughs, as we look at our benchmark data, and we'll begin our quarterly benchmark data review in January when we return. We're seeing some great things going on in the classroom, and as always, we want to highlight those things. And looking at our corrective action plan for the month of November, we've continued our quest with having attended the Virginia State Dean's Advisory Board meeting. Continuously discussions on chronic absenteeism. And we thank Dr. Carey, all our executive principals, for the work that they're doing and the committee members working on chronic absenteeism. Looking forward to an early college discussion. We have been talking about an early college for about a year, and we're furthering our conversation with Southside Virginia Community College. Looking forward to that conversation continuing. Had some great discussions with Dr. Dickey on the use of fry words. We're looking and through conversations with our Q1 benchmarks at Wyatt Middle School, implementing the fry words to help our struggling readers. Had some great meetings for the Sal and Val committee meetings, monthly meetings with the Cook Center, looking at varsity tutors and chronic absenteeism meetings. All in Virginia, as we know, is the focus on chronic absenteeism, high dose tutoring, and we're looking forward to making great strides with that when we come back in January. We participated in the Virginia Transformation Leadership Academy, and that was on budgeting. Held our monthly executive leadership meetings, did virtual coffee chat with principals, and looking at directors on the work sessions on the WOW as we work on the work. Had vast the leadership and governance. The board chair and all board members attended the VSBA State Conference, which was held 11/14 through 16. So participated in a branding work session. Also, we're working on weekly discussion protocols with our OSQ liaison. Had strategic planning meetings on 12/5, and we had our Greensville County Public Schools branding work sessions. In our operations and support services, continuously looking at our custodial service contract, looking at that, and had our first rendition at the ADA compliant playground. And we thank Ms. Janelle Robinson and Ms. Coker and all for making the efforts as we get a new playground at GES. Had our SRO and SSO discussions, a safety meeting, and in human resources, meeting with teachers to continuously discuss licensure, looking at the Virginia Grow Your Own, a new online system for licensure launches this month, and participated with licensure discussions with the Virginia Department of Education. Mr. Chairman, and to the board, that concludes my CAP update. Yes. Wanted to highlight the budget calendar, and we do have this posted on our website. And we have definitely confirmed, looked at the joint planning meeting with the city and the county. Right now, that meeting is going to be held on March the 26th. March the 26th, we will have our joint work session meeting with the county and the city. And this is our yearly budget calendar as we move toward the upcoming budget. Want to highlight also that on December the 20th, we're looking to receive the governor's budget. Looking to receive the governor's budget on December the 20th. Just wanted to give an update of the budget calendar to all, Mr. Chairman.
All right, that brings us up to special recognition.
I don't think I need that. Not for that. Chairman Rook, Vice Chairperson Roberts, board members, Dr. Edwards, colleagues, and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Greensville County Public Schools takes pride in recognizing the great things our staff and students are doing. Tonight, I don't have to stand before you long and talk about all the things that are happening in December, because I guess there aren't any employee recognition dates in December, other than we're getting ready to go home for Christmas. So first, we would like to recognize Miss Emily Jarrett. Miss Jarrett, if you are present, could you please come forward? Miss Jarrett was recognized at the 2023 VAST conference. for receiving the RISE Award for Outstanding Science Teaching and Contributions to Science Education in Virginia. So we would like to congratulate Miss Jarrett on being at 212 degrees. And for you, since you already have a 212 pin, you have a wow, thank you. Dr. Halls, can you come forward? Dr. Farquharson, the other one? Just instruction to get in a picture with her, please. Congratulations. For this next recognition, I would like to ask Dr. Edwards and the board to come forward. As Dr. Edwards stated, or maybe it wasn't earlier, this is Mr. Rook's last meeting with us. So we want to recognize him for his contributions to Greensville County Public Schools. And if anyone would like to say a few words. Anybody?
I'll share something with you guys that a lot of people might not know, or if you did, just don't tell anybody else you knew it. But Mr. Rook actually wasn't seeking a public service position. Some things happened with him and his family, and I think he got the calling to fulfill maybe that term, which has turned into 10 plus years. So that's in the category of 6 or more. So 6 years of public service to a gentleman that I think we all should take a recognition of, has no desire to do it for the political reasons, but has done it because he likes to keep the kids first. So on behalf of the board, we definitely appreciate you stepping up. And while you might not sit at that table, you are never allowed to never be identified as a school board member.
Now, many of you may not know this, but Mr. Rook is following in his dad's footsteps. His father was on the board for many years, and my husband was on the board with him, and they worked alongside very good. And I know he would be very proud to know how well you have done, how you have led us. We're going to miss you tremendously. He's always been a solid person who just, put it out just like it is. And so we wish you the best in your retirement. From the board. You would stop in some meetings and give us a few pointers every once in a while. Good luck to you.
So, Mr. Rook, in recognition and sincere appreciation for your ongoing commitment and dedicated service that contributed to the success of Greensville County Public Schools, thank you. Dr. Edwards.
School Board Service Award presented to Mr. Jason Brook in recognition and appreciation for your years of ongoing commitment and dedicated service to the Greensville County Public Schools. Thank you for your contribution to our success, Greensville County School Board.
Pecan pie, just call. Mr. Rook, oh, you can say it from your seat. Say a few words.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to the community. I wish the school system was better. I'm still gonna go with my opinion. I got all their phone numbers.
That's right.
I think we've come a long way. My dad's been doing like one of the renovation things we done. And I wanted to see it through.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
All right, so our final three recognitions will go to our school competitions. Who will be the winner? Miss Person said last time she was going to get those trophies back. So she meant what she said. So the Clean School Award for the month of November goes to EWI Middle School. Come on. She said, that's one. That's one. Best Student Attendance Award. Uh, Greensville County High School was 74%. Greensville Elementary, 76%. EWI at 81.5%. And the winner is she said she's gonna get them back. All right, and finally, the best staff attendance for the month of November, with 93.9% Greensville County High School. This was a very close race. GES is right behind you. That's right. That is all I have.
This time I'd like to call and say, Miss Person, you got 2 of the 3 back, right? All right, and congratulations to the high school. GES is coming. Those scores are close. Let's keep it coming and get our students in school. Let's look at next our instructional update. This time I'd like to call our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Farquharson, forward, along with Mrs. Harrison, our Director of College and Career Readiness, and bring forth the instructional update. They're so excited. Look at them. Good evening.
Chairman Ruffin, members of the school board, for the instructional update. We are really excited. Good evening. That's better. So we are excited for the part of the instructional update to have 2 of our new programs here tonight.
Yes.
And we will start with cosmetology. And I'm going to get out of the way and turn it over to our fabulous instructor and our fantabulous students.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
My name is Kirsten White.
And my name is Mariah Jefferson.
And I'm Zariana Freeman.
And we are the first ever cosmetology class to attend Southside Community College and Greensville County High School, as you may know. We are so happy to be given this opportunity, and we have learned so much this far. Through our trial and errors, we have learned to conquer all of our difficulties and hardships and gain lifelong clients and lifelong friendships as whole.
From learning how to do chemical treatments and perms, and also learn the different hair designs and hair techniques and cold wave rod sets. Having a wonderful teacher like Ms. Stiff and having a great support system from fellow staff members and school board have created us to become very career ready minded young ladies.
All right now.
We would love to have the opportunity to go to the Broner Brothers Hair Show in Atlanta. We feel as though it would be a great experience because we will learn correct business techniques, how to become successful business owners, and creating generational wealth as young adults, being able to experience the attribute of cosmetology. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our thoughts about the cosmetology program.
Hi there. I am Miss Tiff. I am their cosmetology instructor. And I am so happy. I am so happy to be here. The children have obtained their barbicide license. They have obtained their COVID-19 barbicide license. They have obtained their Rust high hair styling certificate. They also have obtained their Rust coloring specialist certificate. So you need to be really, really proud and excited about these children.
Absolutely.
They are working. They have certificates and things that grown people do not have.
That's right.
They are working and they're working very, very hard. I'm so proud of them. Okay. Y'all, they want to display some of the things that they have already been taught, and they have their mannequins that they did this morning. Kaka, you want to show them what you have?
Please.
Tasia, Riri.
And this is a braided up mohawk with finger coils. And right here I have helicopter fur. And this is the golden round.
Look at that.
Y'all want to explain to them? I know y'all a little nervous, but go ahead, explain. Y'all are very talkative in the classroom, so let's get it. Kaka?
Well, I did the braided up mohawk with the coils in the front and back. I did a helicopter fur. It's like we played also, and it's a no heat protected style. This is a photo project. I'm going to use it with water and foam, and then we took it out with that.
Look at that.
Good.
That's awesome.
And that's all we have right now.
Thank you all. Let's give them another round of applause. When you talk about being career ready, Ms. Stith, I tell you, these young ladies are definitely on that path. Thank you so much.
And they also had the opportunity to have a job shadowing experience with Uptown Beauty. So we are grateful for the partnership with Ms. Gillis to allow them to come into her shop.
Absolutely.
And at this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Johnson for fashion careers
All right.
and the ladies.
Good evening, everyone. I am India
evening.
Johnson. I teach a new course here. It's called Fashion Careers. My class is more project-based. I do a lot of project-based activities with my students, meaning that they're doing hands-on activities. I'm pretty sure these two young ladies are sick and tired of me because we do a lot of things with our hands. I do give coursework, but at the end of the day, when all said and done, we want to see the kids doing an end result of what they have learned in the classroom. Currently, we are doing a 3D model of a retail store. The kids are using materials that I have in the classroom, which I have on display over here. So if anybody is ever in the high school, you can start by room 111 and see some of the display work that my students have created. We also did 3D models of my kids had to design their own shoe brands, and then they had to use materials within the classroom. Some used clay, some used duct tape, some used raw materials as far as dry clay, some used cardboard, and to make these products that they created on paper into a realistic idea that they have. So I'm very proud of some of the work that my students have created. It's really, really impactful for me to teach them and then for them to actually create and design some of the things that they put on paper. So I'm very, very excited to introduce this new course here at Greensville County High School. And I really love working with my students. And if you ever have time, if you stop by the high school, please drop in to see the beautiful work that my students are doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, we certainly thank you. And looking at that display over there, we know the students are definitely engaged in project-based learning. And I was amazed at the duct tape slippers. And so I did definitely need to find out how to make those, because I think I can stop buying bedroom slippers, okay? Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to showcase the difference that is taking place when we're able to add new courses that are of interest to our students. So thank you for that opportunity. Dr. Farkas.
So I just wanted to share that our EL department, that would be Mr. Yanez, our elementary EL teacher. He's not here with us this evening, but our EL department was invited to present at the 2023 Title III Part A statewide consortium conference. And the highlight of our topic was taking the next steps in collaboration with family and community engagement. So myself, Mr. Hector Yanez, and Ms. Janaire Robinson presented last week, and the focus were our 3 multicultural events that take place during the month of May. And that's our division-wide multicultural night. Many of you have had the opportunity to attend. It was a huge success last year. Our multicultural parade that takes place at the elementary school, and our multicultural displays that take place throughout the division. So we're very proud of the work that Mr. Yanez and Ms. Maury, our secondary EL teacher, are doing. Next is 2023 highlights.
Yes. And so we wanted to just bring, I mentioned the work that our teachers are doing, but one of the things we definitely want to highlight from the hard work that our teachers are doing was the fact that Belfield Elementary and GES received the Virginia Board of Education Exemplar Award. And we thank Executive Principal and her entire staff, Ms. Coker and the GES staff, and all the teachers, paraprofessionals, and everyone that had a part in it, because this is prestigious when you receive an increase from the state and to Belfield Elementary. Ms. Person, your staff, and to the hard work that all the paraprofessionals done and teachers done at Belfield. On this list, we just wanted to bring and highlight the accomplishments of our 2 elementary as we move to the quest of being fully accredited minus chronic absenteeism. And this is the quest that we're on, and this is the quest that we will succeed, being at 212 degrees in Greensville County Public Schools. Just wanted to highlight that, so thank you, ladies. Our next component is the GCHS Letterman sweater. And before we present the procedures for calculating GPAs, you know, as I go to our sports events, one of the things, and I was a big Letterman jacket wearer back in the day. So what we want to bring to Greensville County Public Schools is the Greensville County Public Schools academic jacket, academic sweatshirt, and academic, I can't put with the puff letters. I know the students know what I'm talking about. When you get to wear those nice puff letters, excuse me, Chanel letters, yes. And so what does that look like? Any student that has maintained a 3.5 GPA in Greensville County Public Schools in February, when we end the first semester, we're going to have the first GCHS academic letterman ceremony where they are awarded either a sweatshirt or a sweater for their academic performance here in Greensville County. And we are so looking forward to that in February. At this time, I'd like to bring Dr. Farquharson, our Chief Academic Officer, as we go through and talk about the meetings that we've had as we discuss calculating grade point averages here in Greensville County Public Schools.
So over the past few weeks, we've had 2 student sessions and 2 parent sessions. Dr. Edwards mentioned in our last school board meeting that we were looking at potential changes to how the GPA is calculated. And what I want to share with you this evening are some survey results from our parent and student surveys. So it was a very brief survey. We wanted to make sure that we didn't have people engaged for too long. So our first question on the survey, and these are our parent results. We had 15 parents to respond. And the first question is your student's current grade. And we had 73% of our respondents were our parents of 12th graders, 13% parents of 10th graders, 13.3% parents of 9th graders. We did not have any 11th grade responders. The first question, when should the cumulative GPA be calculated to determine class valedictorian and salutatorian? Are you moving it around? Am I? Okay. This is it. Okay. When should the cumulative GPA be calculated to determine class valedictorian and salutatorian honors? And we had 60% that responded at the end of the first semester of senior year, which is our current procedure. We had 40% that responded at the end of the third quarter of senior year. This is the change being considered. Next question, when should the considered procedures for calculating GPA go into effect? 53% said no time soon. The considered procedures should not go into effect. 20% said this school year, and 26.7% said next school year. Those are our parent survey responses, and then we had some parent comments. Our first comment is no change. Our second comment is, I do think there needs to be a change as the current procedure is not equitable for all students. The current procedure gives students that attend governor's school a distinct disadvantage in class ranking. I do not understand why calculating class rank cannot be done at the end of the second semester. Last night's meeting stated that only around 10 students would need to be done by hand. As a compromise, the change to determine class ranking by using partial credit is a good alternative. Next comment. The current policy is fine by me. No changes need to be made. Next comment. If changes to calculating students' GPAs are implemented, they should occur during the next school year. Making these changes in the middle of the current school year only leads to confusion for both students and parents/guardians. Next comment. It should not be changed. Those were the parent comments that we received. Next are our student results. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have that up on the screen. These were the comments. So we had 116 student responses. 24.1% were ninth graders, 25% 10th graders, 16.4% 11th graders, and 34.5% 12th graders. And respectively, that was 28, 29, 19, and 40. So our largest group were 40 students in 12th grade. Same question. When should the cumulative GPA be calculated to determine class valedictorian and salutatorian? And we had, hold on, I don't have my glasses on tonight. I need to find my paper. There it is. We had 50% at the end of the third quarter of senior year, 48.3% at the end of the first semester of senior year current procedure, and one option 3 and one option 4, which meant we think that they didn't like any of the options. That was 58%, 58 students and the 50% at the end of the third quarter, 56 students at the end of the first semester, and then those 2 students who did not select either choice. When should the considered procedures for calculating GPA go into effect? This school year, 39.7% of the students responded. Next school year, 39.7% of the students responded. 37.1% next school year, 23.3% no time soon. The considered procedure should not go into effect. That is 46 students responded this school year, 43 students responded next school year, 27 students responded no time soon. Student comments, no thanks, NA, no change. Does this mean the student would be given more time to earn their credits? No question. I don't think anything should be changed at all because it is going to make it harder for students to graduate. It'll only cause more school dropouts, and students are already stressed with the SOLs and exams. This change will only lead to more stress on students. Should not be changed this school year. Making GPA be calculated at the end of the third quarter will allow for more accurate results and potentially better GPA averages because of the extra time and grades given by extending the deadline for calculation. Nothing really. Bye. Nope. Are freshmen able to get their GPA? You should push back the schedule year change in 27-28 school year. None, no. Will the school still have the same grading scale for the new GPA if it goes into effect? Those are our student comments. And those are the results of the survey that was administered after each one of our student and parent sessions.
Thank you, Dr. Farquharson. At this time, we did, to echo what Dr. Farquharson stated, we had 2 student sessions and 2 parent sessions. And as you know, looking at this, we always bring it to the board to give you the results of the surveys, to give you how many meetings that were held, so that you, in our next meeting, can make a conscientious decision on how we move forward in the process of calculating GPA in Greensville County Public Schools. And so at this time, I'd just like to ask the board, do they have any questions? Dr. Farquharson, would you come back to the podium? And we'll be more than happy to answer it this time.
I'll just bring light to the comment. I think one asked the question, would it give them a chance to improve on their grades during that timeline for the extended?
If they're working, they're working. So if they have an A at the end of the semester and they don't continue to work hard through that next second, third 9 weeks, then, so it's not an additional, I guess it technically could be if you weren't working hard, but someone else probably is still working hard as well. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't, this is true. And for some children, it is a whole new class.
Thank you.
I have a question in reference to the student results. The ones that said that they wanted it to be, I think you said it was like 50%, said change it this year. Were they seniors or were they collective of all the students combined?
Can we
Oh,
bring
we
this
didn't break-
slide
I'm
back
sorry,
up,
we didn't-
Mr. Redmond?
It's not broken out like that.
It's not? Okay.
Yeah, it's not broken out like
No
that.
problem. Thank
They just identify, I mean, we can go back into the individual student
can.
surveys and we can see that information to see what grade level they were in.
I believe it's all together because one of the numbers you gave us was 40 seniors participated in the survey.
Right.
So I think that was 50% of it.
40,
Did that.
right.
Are there any further questions? And of course, with the board's pleasure, we can dissect the data a little more and then bring that back in January before the board makes its final decision.
If I understand correctly, once if it stays the same now, once it's calculated, then something changes. Is it changed again?
Say that again, Mr. Rook, I'm sorry.
All right, once the way the current policy is set now, same as Robert says, the top of the class. She slacks off the end of the school year, Mr. Jesse excels. It don't ever change. Once you awarded it, it doesn't change.
Right. Once it's calculated at the end of the first semester, which would be the same thing as it was calculated at the end of the third 9 weeks. If they slacked off after that, they would still be the person.
Okay. Ms. Roberts, you got anything?
I think that to change at this point in the game would probably be a little disheartening to some of the students who are working hard to try to get it done. I think there needs to be some change, but to change it in midstream, I think would be a little bit more difficult for our community to accept.
So my question is, are we asking for further consideration or this is the final?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Pearson. So as always, we bring the results of our information gathered, and then we will bring this back as an action item in January to the board. Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Fox.
All right, next up be policy revisions review.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Call on Ms. Rook, who works with our policies.
Mrs. Riddick.
Oh, Mrs. Riddick. Mr. Rook. Mr. Rook got me shook up. He's leaving. Thank you. Mrs. Riddick.
As Dr. Edwards mentioned a few months ago, we are looking at updating our policies. So at the moment, all of our policies have been distributed by departments to all of our department heads, and some of us are using it as our Canvas projects for the work that we're working on right now. So each month, we'll bring forth some policies for review, and in the next month for action, whether or not it needs any type of revisions, but we are looking at it. So in your packets, you will see for revision, the student wellness policy that was approved, or last revised rather, June 12, 2023. And they have some minor revisions in it in regard to making sure that we state that water is an essential nutrient and not a replacement for milk. That we will regularly maintain water sources such as water fountains, water refill stations or dispensers, and making sure that it's clean, safe, and good tasting. Teachers are encouraged to model positive hydration behavior. And those were the Oh, and making sure that we have water in high traffic areas such as gyms, outdoor activity spaces, and faculty lounges. So those were the changes in the student wellness policy. In the second packet, there are several policies for review. And a lot of these have not been reviewed in quite some time. So as a part of our standards of quality, we have to review or should review our policies every 5 years. So we have up the personnel policies, policy goals, technology use guidelines, access to employee social media accounts, child abuse, neglect and reporting, school employee conflicts of interest, reports of discrimination, report of harassment, board staff communications, and lactation support. These are the ones we are asking to be reviewed first. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Ritter. All right, next up, board member committee reports. Anybody got anything?
I don't.
No.
All right, moving right along to action items. First up, Dr. Edwards or Ms. Ritter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And on action items item tonight, Mr. Chairman, and to the board, we would like to recommend a bonus, a staff appreciation bonus for all of our teachers that have been with us since September when we started school. The amount of $1,000 for full-time and $500 for part-time employees to be received on December the 20th.
All right, what's the board's pleasure?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is that going to be pre-tax or after-tax?
Great question, Mr. Pearson. It's going to be pre-tax. So each employee will receive the amounts that were given, $1,000 and $500. So no employee will be taxed for the 1,000 or the 500. They will be bona fide given 1,000 and bona fide given 500.
So we will be taking care of the taxes.
Yes, sir. The division will take care of the taxes.
And which fund are we going to pull that from?
We will be pulling this from ESSER 3, Mr. Pearson.
No question.
Any more questions? What's the board's pleasure?
You want to entertain the motion that we implement this process?
Needs a motion.
So moved.
All right, motion made.
Second.
Motion's been made and properly seconded for the staff appreciation bonus. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None being heard, motion carries.
Just for clarification, the board is not staff either.
Yes, sir. Correct, Mr. Pearson. Yes. So thank you so much. I know the staff would greatly appreciate it. We're coming up here on Christmas, and we certainly thank you for approving the recommendation. Yes.
All right, moving right along, Dr. Edwards.
Under item B, we would like to just make a brief change to our recommendation. We would like to recommend, on our calendar, it states that we will be in school a half a day on December the 21st. It is the request and the recommendation of administration to make December the 21st a day off for all. And that means that on December the 20th, it will be our last day, and we will return back after the holidays. If the board accepts this recommendation.
This will not affect our minimum days for the semester, correct?
No, sir. We are, the high school will be, as you know, as well as the middle school, when we come back, we'll be in SOL mode. and we will be resuming our components of providing remediation and acceleration in the form of tutoring when we come back in full strength in January, and looking forward to adding Saturday academies to the high school, the middle school, and even the elementary school across the board when we come back in January. So it will not affect us, Mr.
Any other questions? Seeking a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None been heard, the motion carries.
Thank you so much. Our next item of field trips. We just witnessed some dynamic young ladies come and present information as it relates to cosmetology. And we had some dynamics introduced as it relates to fashion merchandise. And we thank their teachers, Ms. Stiff and Ms. Johnson, and to our Director of College and Career Readiness, Mrs. Riddick. And we have field trips that are slated before you, and we're seeking approval of those overnight field trips. And if you have any questions, call Mrs. Harrison to the podium. And Mr. Ellis is available for the senior field trip. Is that right, Mr. Ellis? Yes.
I see one thing on here where it says, fundraiser.
Yes.
Yes.
So if fundraiser requirements are not met,
Then the funds will come from our local vocational.
I'm sorry, I have one. How many students would be able to go?
6.
and how many adults chaperones we have?
4.
4.
So that we have enough to be able to assist with transporting them without overloading one driver. Well, 2 drivers, 1 per vehicle. So it'll enable to have 2 drivers per vehicle.
Any more questions? All right, what's the board's pleasure on the field trips? I make a motion, we approve them.
Do we want to do both at one time? Is that allowed, or do we have to break it down?
We can break it down. The board's pleasure. We can do both at one time. If you have any questions, Mr. Ellis is here for the seniors, but we can do both field trips because they're both overnight field trips at the same time. Excuse me.
I make a motion, we approve both field trips.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded to approve both overnight field trips. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None being heard, the motion carries.
Thank you so very much, board.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Harrison. Thank you, Mr. Ellis, and represent Greensville County Public Schools well. And we certainly appreciate you all willingness to go. And thank you to the Board of Education. Our next item is our non-resident application. Dr. Carey, would I ask you to come to the podium, please, at this time? Seeking approval for the non-resident application. Just in case there are any questions about that.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We made the adjustments that were discussed at the last meeting.
The, one of the statements says that once you are no longer employed with GCPS, your student will have to unenroll from the division within 7 calendar days. Has that been made really clear to any employees? Have we had incidents where that was not done previously?
Yes, ma'am. We've had several incidents where there's been some confusion. If you are no longer employed in the district, then they're not understanding that the child would need to unenroll at some point. We haven't said much about this yet. We were waiting for board approval.
Now, is this district Greensville County, but still in the state of Virginia, or out of the state of Virginia?
So if they are, if say for instance, if I leave and I have a child that's in the school district, regardless, I would need to.
It's for both, Ms. Pearson.
Yeah, I would need to take my
in
child out.
North Carolina and
Virginia.
in Virginia. I just use those 2 states as a reference. Yes, sir. But I want to thank the committee for looking at this non-resident policy because they had much discussion and we just wanted to bring clarity so that there's no confusion in the future as relates to an employee being able to bring their student as a non-resident or anyone that we accept as a non-resident from the Commonwealth.
Any more questions? Anything else, Mr. Bill? All right, what's the board's recommendation?
You want a motion to approve this?
Yes.
All right. I'm so moved that we approve the recommendation for the application for admission to non-resident students. That's my motion.
Motion on the floor to accept the non-resident application.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, make it known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None being heard, the motion carries. Next up will be announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, and we received feedback. We wanted to move our announcements up. And so one of the things and highlights, December the 14th, this Thursday here in this very room, State Superintendent Dr. Lisa Coons, members from the State Board of Education will be coming to Greensville County Public Schools to start conversation on the new standards of accreditation that they are proposing. That meeting will be held here at Greensville County High School at 6:30 p.m. and is slated to last until 8 p.m. right here in this very room. So this Thursday on December the 14th, please place on your calendar. We'll have a conversation with our state superintendent and state board members about the standards of accreditation that are coming up and what they are proposing changes for the standards of accreditation. Also, looking forward to all faculty and staff having a great holiday as we move forth with, and thank you to the board for approving the 21st as a day off. Announcements, each full-time employee as approved by the Board of Education will receive $1,000 and each part-time employee will receive $500 as long as you was been with us since September. And one other announcement, where we are in Greensville County Public Schools, when we return, as we know, we will be in SOL mode, and this affects our teachers and staff. And we thank the board so much as we have been crunching numbers with our new CFO. We are pleased to announce that in January, each full-time staff member and each full-time staff member in Greensville County Public Schools will receive an additional 2.5% increase starting in January, in addition to the 2.5 that you received in July. That's all the announcement that we have. And we wish everyone a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Hold on.
Hold on. Do what? Yeah, I was gonna
Yes,
do
yes.
that. All right, I'm seeking a motion to go into closed session. Could y'all hold it down, please? Seeking a motion to go into closed session to discuss student matters, consider an administration disciplinary matters of any student in the state school system persistent to Virginia Code Annuity 2.2-3711A2, and personnel matters to consider or interview prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation from specific public officers, appointees, or employees of the school board pursuant to Virginia Code Annuity 2.2-3711A1.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded to go into closed session. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None been heard. We'll now be going into closed session. Thank y'all.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, we're back from closed session. Clerk, could we get a roll call to certify?
Chairman Jason Rook,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Janet Roberts,
Yes.
Rustin Jesse,
Yes.
Mr. Ronell Pearson.
Yes.
All right, recommendations on personnel matters and student matters from closed session.
Mr. Chairman, administration is seeking, recommending the approval as presented in closed session for personnel and student matters.
All right, seeking a motion for the recommendation of accepting the recommendations from closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None being heard, motion carries. If there's nothing else, seeking a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and properly seconded for adjournment. All in favor, make it known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None been heard, meeting is adjourned.